Welcome to Game of Roses. This is PaceCase.
This is Bachelor Clues, and this is This Week in Bachelor Nation. We've got so much to cover today, to say the least. So many strange announcements of new shows in the Bachelor Nation extended universe, if you want to call it that. We've got some engagements to get to. We've got some announcements being made by ABC Disney executives about the future of the franchise. That are strange, to say the least.
Ensues.
Yeah, that ain't no shit. But before we get to any of that, we got to talk about a couple of pieces of business. One, as you may know, I delivered a keynote presentation at one DePaul University a few weeks ago at their pop culture conference. It was, of course, a presentation on how The Bachelor is a sport, complete with clips from the history of our beloved game to illustrate whatever the thing was I was talking about. IFIs, PTCs, Hoojus, the structure of the game, et cetera, et cetera. Good players. There's a thing in the very end of it where I say, baseball, no sport is good without its great players. Baseball had Babe Ruth. Basketball has Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Football has Thomas Brady.
Dale Moss.
And we have one Nicholas Vial.
Caitlin Bristow.
And I used some pictures of it. You weren't there. So I got to tell the truth.
Fully biased.
Unhindered, objective truth about who the greatest player of the game is. That's correct.
They call me the hinderer.
No one disagreed with me. Everyone cheered very loudly when I said Nick Vial is our Babe Ruth. And people were doing backflips in the audience. It was
How can
brilliant.
I watch this video?
It's right now on our Patreon. There's a video of me delivering the presentation. I have edited it together with a video of all the clips and stuff that I was playing in time with the presentation. You can go right now to patreon.com/Game of Roses and watch the whole thing. It's up there. So enjoy that.
You know what else is up there? Clue and I have been hyper binging Hannah Brown's season. You say there's no Bachelorette in 2025. We say, yes, there is. It's Hannah Brown. It's basically watching a brand new season. There's little parts I remember, but the perspective I have watching it is so different from when it aired. And the quality of the document is so fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
Come watch with us on Patreon.
And for what it's worth, that is the season that we started this podcast. Right in the middle of Hannah Brown's season, episode 6. Origin. We recapped that episode 6. That's the episode we just rewatched in Casa Gore. So if you get on our Patreon, not only can you watch us rewatch that season, you get access to our back catalog. So starting right now, you can watch us watching Hannah Brown season. Then you can listen to the recap of that episode that we gave 6 years ago or whatever. It was 2019. God.
I'm still so nervous to listen to that episode, but I'm curious. I bet I say some of the exact same shit. Yeah,
I re-listened to it. Surprisingly, it's like a little, not to use this phrase, but I'm going to use it, rough around the edges. I think we know that one doesn't
from
fly.
From recording on a tape recorder?
Yeah, we recorded it on a tape recorder, a boom box. We recorded it on a little handheld Zoom recorder.
A cup attached to a string?
No, we had no string, no bubble gum, no duct tape. But a lot of the elements that are currently in Game of Roses were already there in the very first episode. Plays of the game, MVP, era of the game, all those types of things we were doing from day one.
And our song has been the same since day 2.
Since episode 2, yeah. Episode 1, we had a weird little song that I just made on GarageBand or something. But anyway, that's all there. Please check that out. Also, we have to mention we are going to have a survey coming out, which you will be able to get in the notes for this YouTube video. It'll be in the video description. It'll also be on all of our social media. We are trying to figure out what we should do next for merch, a shirt, a hat. We don't know. So we want to hear from everybody out there. What is the kind of stuff that you most want to see or would like to have that's Gore related or Bachelor themed or whatever it may be? It's all in the survey. Check that out. The link to it is in our social media and this YouTube video description. We also
want to know what shows you're watching when The Bachelorette is not on. So that's a couple of questions in there. We want to know what the pit is into these days when we have no Bachelor product And get ready because we are going full force Love Island USA in 3 weeks.
Two weeks, right? It's May 19th. It starts June 3rd, I think, is episode 1. We're going to be watching every episode of Love Island USA season 7 in Casa Gore. So you can watch along with us on our Patreon. And we'll be putting out a weekly kind of recap of the 6 episodes that came out that week. This is going to be wild. I'm getting hyper binge vibes again from it, like gearing up for that, you know?
I know. I'm feeling nervous about that 6-week period because we're also going to be starting Bachelor in Paradise in the middle of that July 7th. So
I'm looking
we are
forward
packing it on. Gore is going into the stratosphere.
It has been a long time since we did a full immersion. That was the hyper binge, really. And I mean, that level of immersion, I don't think we'll ever achieve again because I don't think it's possible. We were literally watching 10 hours a day of Bachelor.
It broke us.
I think it transformed us. It remade us into better versions of ourselves. But
potato.
I am looking forward to the kind of re-immersion into Love Island while a Bachelor's going on, just to be doing it every day, flexing the muscle. So we hope
I've literally never watched that show live. Like I've pretty much watched every Love Island season, but usually I binge it at some point, or at least binge it weekly. Watching it every night while it's airing is going to be...
Yeah, awesome.
That's a lifestyle. Awesome.
I know. It's going to be 6 weeks of a lifestyle that I'm looking very forward to, because I also think this season is just going to be... I don't think we are
Can you imagine the casting?
Yes, absolutely. They have to find another Rob, another Leia, another Kaylor, another Janae. They have to get those same types of players. And I just think that the success of season 6... Love Island USA is going to catapult this into the next level. I think there's going to be more people watching season 7 than have ever watched before, of a USA anyway. And I think it's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait.
Well, Love Island USA season 6 was the most watched Love Island product of any
of all time, right?
Of the shows. Yeah. So it has big shoes to fill, but I think people looking at those Instagram numbers, future influencers, that's got to be your top pick when you're choosing which show to go into.
100%. And that's something also to take into consideration with that season. The players we're going to see coming into 7 all watched Leia Kateb get 4 million Instagram followers. And like, they aren't shooting it yet. That's another thing about Love Island that's fascinating. It shoots and airs on the same day, basically. It's happening kind of concurrently as the season's airing. So those players are all gearing up right now to be like, shit, this could be it. This could be my chance at 4 million Instagram followers if I play this right. They're all aware of that going into that process. I can't.
It's part of what's great about the format is they will see who the audience is reacting to, and they will keep those people. They structure the show around what the people want. And I love that. That's democracy.
Love level 0. Nice. All right, let's move on to... our first piece of This Week in Bachelor Nation. This is
Game of Roses. State of the game.
We now know ABC has not formally ordered The Bachelor Season 30. It ain't here yet. It don't exist yet. But what PaceCase and I wanted to do today in the State of the Game is talk about what needs to happen in that season to essentially resurrect the Bachelor franchise from this kind of weird patchwork piecemeal. Well, we had a Bachelor, but no Bachelorette, and we didn't have Bachelor in Paradise last season, but we're going to have it this season, and we're switching every other year as a Golden Bachelor, then a Golden Bachelorette. It's all just kind of this weird hodgepodge, and I think it needs to get back to the very formal pipeline that has existed for decades. Bachelor, Bachelorette, Golden, BIP.
Year round.
Yeah. Basically, with a couple months off in between, usually Bachelorette and BIP, and a couple months off between the end of whatever their fall product is and the restart of the whole cycle in January with Bachelor. So what needs to happen is you got to have Bachelor season 30 in January. That has to happen. If you miss that window, I think it's not good. It's not good for the franchise.
Okay. Do you think it's possible they do Bachelorette in January?
No.
Who's They're going Bachelor. Tayshia.
Victoria
Fuller.
God, I mean, I would watch either one of those seasons. I think they'd both be great,
yeah.
but no, I don't think they would replace it in that way because Bachelor is still the flagship of the franchise.
Highest rated. Yeah.
Highest rated. It's the origin, et cetera, et cetera. And it's where you get your bachelorettes from. Now, we don't have a bachelorette season happening currently, so there is no place from which we can pull a new bachelor except the past. And so
Bachelor in Paradise.
Sure, Bachelor in Paradise, we're going to see, but like those players who are on Bachelor in Paradise are all players from the past. There are no players from a current season of Bachelorette. So we wanted to kind of like break down who we think you have to cast as Bachelor for season 30 in order to generate the proper amount of interest from the nation, from the fourth audience, and kind of right the ship again, if indeed they are attempting to do that. And we're going to get to some things in Bachelor Nation news with regard to at least one ABC executive's attitude toward the franchise and the rate at which they might be rolling out seasons. But before we get to that, we do want to talk about this. Who should be our Bachelor in season 30? Who is likely, who is possible, who is still single? And the top of that list in my mind is one, Blake Moynes. I know we have discussed him at length on this very podcast. He is, in terms of player statistics, he's in the conversation for greatest player of all time, simply because he's dated 275 bachelorettes back to back to back. Well, he's done 4 back to back to back, right?
He's created some of the best physical art we've ever seen. The semen painting, the clay penis.
I have it sitting right over there. I can't reach it. It's too far. I'll get it. Hang on.
Put it more prominent. If he becomes a bachelor, you should put it right behind your head.
I need to get the clay penis to complete my Blake Moynes art collection. This is the semen painting that Blake Moynes created in season 17 of The Bachelorette. This was, of course, gifted to Katie Thurston, and then she gifted it to me. Well wishes to Katie Thurston. We hope
the origin of life.
Doing well. At any rate,
beautiful.
Blake Moynes, aside from creating, again, the stunning work of semen art, he has dated, in order, Claire Crawley, Tayshia Adams, Katie Thurston. That was both Bachelorettes of season 16 and the Bachelorette of season 17. He won the ring in season 17. Crashed that season. No one has ever done that. A season crash that leads to ring win has never happened other than Blake Moynes. He is maybe or maybe not dating Rachel Recchia. They spend a lot of time together. At the very least, they're very close friends.
They're teasing us with saving baby elephants.
Exactly.
But that would be a 4th Bachelorette if that is indeed the case.
And it's rumored that he may be on Perfect Match season 3, or at least that was offered to him. If he could dip into the NRU and then come back to wear the crown in the Bachelor franchise, that would be another feat that no one has ever done. So we'll have to wait and see for Perfect Match season 3 if he actually is in that season or not. But I know that show is now third wave. They definitely went outside the Netflix reality universe to cast some players. He might be one of them, but he's somebody
because they're doing it the best. The Bachelor, I feel like, is kind of like Survivor, like Dark Lord Jeff being like, oh, they went on traitors. Like, no, this is good for you. Yeah. It is good to bring in some of the Netflix audience to Bachelor.
100%. And vice versa. Like, you just kind of want it all to meld together. At any rate, with Moynes, I feel like he has been at the top of that conversation for a while now, since really his rookie season in Bachelorette 16. And it seems to me like there were maybe some near misses where maybe he could have been Bachelor instead of Grant Ellis. Maybe he could have, worn the crown. And I think once you're in that kind of rarefied air, you're always in the conversation. And right now, if they're looking at who could be our next Bachelor, he's kind of the most recent big player that was on Paradise. And, he's been in the Bachelor world for a while.
I don't know if I was fully convinced on Blake Moynes until you pitched the intro package for him, the possible trailer for his season, which is just like this snowy cabin.
The lumberjack.
You slowly zoom in, and then you see a lumberjack cracking some wood, and then he slowly turns around, gives you a wink. It's Blake Moynes in lumberjack gear, saving an animal. I mean, think of the theming of that season, the animal husbandry dates.
All of them would be that.
They would all be, it would be a different animal each episode.
Yeah, today, you're giving birth to an elephant. Today,
so
you're giving birth to a rhinoceros. Yeah, I agree. So he's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Outside, well, let's stick in the Bachelor Nation because we have a couple of choices on here that are outside of it. But in the Bachelor Nation, we've still got Peter Krause. He's always kind of lingering and looming. I think they just did an interview with him on Almost Famous, if I'm not mistaken. He was just on a big Bachelor podcast recently. And I don't know what he said, if he'd be up for it or not. He might be getting a little bit long in the tooth at this point, but I don't think his window's closed. I just looked it up.
He is age 40. So he is at the top of the age limit, but that's still acceptable. Byron Velvick, season 4.
And Jay Overby. They were both 40.
And I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who watched that Rachel Lindsay season who that's always been the one that got away. Absolutely.
I think for Bachelor Nation, he's the one that got away, period, across all seasons, whatever. I'll never forget it. It basically was Rachel Lindsay kicked him to the curb because he was like, I don't know if I can get married through this process, but I love you and want to keep dating you. And she was like, I want a ring, motherfucker. Be gone. And look how that worked out.
And now that the divorce has happened, the leech money has happened, I feel like it's like the one that got away is still there. I don't know what his dating situation is, but I don't think he's married, which is all we need.
And neither is Rachel Lindsay at this point. Do they redo that whole season? Get her back as the Bachelorette and put him as a player?
I mean,
Rachel Lindsay, please don't ever come back to the franchise. She would never do
it.
Yes, nor should she. She has given too much already to us.
No, she doesn't deserve any more vitriol from the fourth audience.
And she's doing well in Higher Learning, which I love. One of my favorite podcasts.
Speaking of the one that got away, another name that is constantly in the conversation, Clues and I were trying to make the hashtag pay Tyler Cameron $1 million happen for a while. The runner-up of Hannah Brown's season, he only played one season, Tyler Cameron.
Yeah.
He, I believe, is always in the conversation as well. He is, the white whale that we never got. Everyone was in love with him. Gigi Hadid watched his season and was like, you're mine. Kind of in the same way that Sarah Hyland was about Wells Adams, was just like, and that'll be mine.
Collected them.
These are A-list actors. He, I think, is nearing that edge of the Tyler Cameron window of being the Bachelor as well. And obviously we know he is at least allegedly with the milk stomping girl, but could we get him?
I don't know.
Would he save the franchise?
We know from interviews with him, he would definitely save the franchise. A Tyler Cameron Bachelor season would put it back at the top of the ratings in a way we haven't seen in probably 5 or 6 years. We know through his podcast interviews that he at least was open to the idea of becoming the Bachelor at one point, but they wouldn't pay him the money he wanted. At this point, it's like, here's your choices. If anyone from ABC or Disney is listening to this, or Warner Brothers, really, you might have to put a financial investment back into the franchise to have it live for another 20 years. You will recoup that investment 1 million-fold if the Bachelor does another 20 seasons. If you're afraid to put $1 million into a lead now, and that ends the whole franchise, you're going to lose money. So yes, I know $1 million added to a budget to just pay the lead when you've never given anyone more than $200,000. I know that seems like crazy and a lot. Ask Mike Fleiss to give it to you out of this next season of his Bachelor check. There are ways to find that money, and I think you have to do it.
Yeah. You have to pay someone. I mean, if you're going for Tyler Cameron, or if you're going for one of the stunt casting people that we will get to in a little bit. But still on the Bachelor player train, we discussed this last week, because we had the shocking news that someone is touching sand, and that someone is one of the greatest players of all time who did something that no one else has ever been able to do. Dale Moss.
Yeah.
He had a perfect Instagram, which Claire Crawley fell in love with during the period between announcing the cast and when they were actually able to shoot the only night one that ever occurred. And she blew up the Bachelorette for him. He got the ring faster than anyone in history. And I know he's going to be the number one target on sand as soon as he touches it. Can't wait to watch this Bachelor in Paradise season.
I think personally that they cast him on Paradise specifically for this. I think it's a trial run to see if he can be the Bachelor. If he can, can they work with him? Will he stick to their script? Will he do the things the producers ask of him? And also, how does the fourth audience react to whatever story they're writing for him in Paradise? Yeah. I'm assuming it's like him and Kat Izzo kind of boomeranging around to ultimately yielding a moment where maybe he's going to propose, but no, I just can't.
I just can't.
I do think an end
style.
run. Yeah, I think it'll be very similar to what they did for Vial with Jen Saviano in season 6 of
or
BIP.
you pay Kat Izzo to victimize Dilmas. That's what I would do.
Turn her into the villain.
Get her to cheat on him. Yeah.
Could be.
I don't know, but I think Paradise is if you are going to just go from the player pool and not stunt cast, this is your audition for next Bachelor, period.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I agree. 100%.
Technically, it could be anyone out there. It could be Jonathan. It could be Hakeem, you know. By the way, Hakeem made a cameo in the Secret
We're going to get to that in news.
Of Mormon Wives that I was watching this week.
That will be a news story in Bachelor Nation News. We also wanted to bring up 2 former leads that may be good for a second time around. We saw this happen one time only in the history of Bachelor Nation. It was with Brad Womack in season 11 and season 15. They gave him a second chance. But Pilot Pete is at the top of my list for a Bachelor who could do it again. Since his time wearing the crown, he has gone on to essentially secure even bigger reality TV stardom as an integral player in season 2 of Traders USA. And now he's going to be on this show with Janae from Love Island USA season 6 that is called Destination X. So that may even blow him up further. I'm not sure, but that's shot. So he is free to go shoot a season of Bachelor if he wanted to. And I think just because of what the show did to him in season 24, the torture they put him through, and kind of the disaster that it ended in, he
physically scarred him for life.
That's true.
That golf cart.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we would also get from a Pilot Pete season, Sweet Nums. Yeah. The nation loves her. We love her. I think she could recreate the work that she did during his season. Bring her back, bring her home to us. Like, think about a new version of that in 2025. What could it be? Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe she's hardened to it all. No tears. Maybe she's just like, fuck it, I don't care.
No, I think she is obsessed with the top 2 picks and goes, Peter, don't break up with either of them. You have to bring them both home to us.
Yeah.
How about that?
That'd be fantastic. He goes into a throuple as ordained by Sweet Nums. Also, he's from the last season of any Bachelor product that aired right before the pandemic. So there is a psychological attachment, at least for me, and I think probably to most of Bachelor Nation, of his season as being like one of the last good times. Because once you started rolling out that Bachelorette season 16, the Fractured season, and everything that came after it, it has been a kind of tiptoeing into like bad times in Bachelor Nation. It's kind of been downgraded every season successfully after that.
It was the last season when we were untouched by plague, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that nostalgia factor, that 100%. Can help a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of nostalgia factor, another Bachelor that we think might be interesting as a second chance. I don't like this guy as much as I like Pilot Pete. But perhaps one Christopher Soules.
Maybe he'd do it for less money.
Oh, he would do it for no money. I don't know if he would actually do it. He might be damaged goods too, psychologically, from the experience of The Bachelor and everything that happened to him after. But
Victoria Fuller.
Well, I'm talking more about the truck accident that he had. But
also, he would be the oldest Bachelor of all time. He is at 43.
Oh, right? Shit. I didn't realize he's that old. Never mind. Erase.
43 too old, you're saying?
Yeah, I think 40 is the limit.
Cut. Okay, well, we also put on this list to round out the players, Greg Grippo. This is, I think, another player that was like the one that got away on Katie Thurston's season. We saw him have a long relationship with Victoria Fuller, where they both got tattoos that said ciao. He initiated a lot of discussions, a hot button discussions, whatever side you were on it, of how that relationship played out. I think that he is also one of those ones that got away from the fourth audience.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think he would generate viewer interest in the same way any of these other names would that we're discussing here. But he's gettable. I think he would be amenable to doing it. And I do think he's better than an unknown. I do think you want, because you've had this fracture with no Bachelorette right now, there's like a break in the pipeline. Whoever you cast in season 30 of Bachelor, if it's coming back in January, it needs to make that pipeline whole. You have to connect the thread again. It's got to be somebody from a season we've watched.
Make us whole.
Yes. That said, if it's not somebody from a season we've watched, if it's not somebody even from Bachelor Nation, these are our selections for people from outside of Bachelor Nation who would probably do just as well, at least in terms of viewer interest. Number one at the top of that list is arguably the greatest dating game player of all time in terms of guys, Harry Jowsey. He comes from, now he's in the NRU. He was just on Perfect Match season 2, but he's been electric. Basically, any show he's in, he gets vaulted to the stratosphere of fame. I don't know. What is he at now? He's got 3-point-something million, I think.
I think that's the problem with Harry Jowsey. That's the problem with any of this stunt casting, I think, is like, could you get him? But you pay Harry Jowsey, pay Tyler Cameron.
Oh my God, 4.3.
He now has a podcast in the Call Her Daddy universe. So again, it's like, why wouldn't he just produce that show himself if he were the lead? But if they could get him, you got eyeballs on that screen.
Yeah. And he's even made mention of like, he would want to be The Bachelor. I do still think The Bachelor is the Cadillac of dating shows. There's still prestige in it. And that to him, I think, is a feather in the cap of like, we've heard on other podcasts, he creates fake characters that he plays in these shows. He writes his own scripts and stuff. I think if he was given the canvas of The Bachelor, that season would be insane. I don't think we would have ever seen anything like it.
No.
And for sure he would generate interest. Like, not only are people in Bachelor Nation obsessed with him, but people everywhere who watch any reality TV are obsessed with him. And
the competition on that season would be, it would elevate the entire show.
Yes.
And like, I know people are like, oh, it's not for TRR. Shut up. None of these people are.
Yeah, exactly.
For none of these people, it is the primary objective.
Yeah.
Harry Jowsey, like, I will never get over that clip on a podcast where he's discussing how he would apply to reality shows with like 5 different characters.
Yeah.
I'll be this one. I'll be this one. I'll be whatever you want.
Yeah. No, he's a genius at it. And that's why he's got 4.3 million Instagram followers. Moving on, we have one other person from outside the franchise, but not from outside reality television. He's a star of other franchises. This man's name is Tom Sandoval. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking to yourselves. No fucking way could we ever believe that it was for TRR. You don't have to. He could be cast from the beginning as a villain bachelor. And I just have to say, I haven't watched a lot of Tom Sandoval until I started watching Traitors, his season of Traitors. The dude is 100% entertaining in every frame, period. Whether you love him, you hate him, anything in between. He's hilarious. He does all sorts of weird antics all the time. He elevates whatever he's in, period. And I think if you had him as the Bachelor, that season would be extremely interesting.
Everyone would be talking about it. I also do believe that producers could convince Tom Sandoval that he is for TRR. I think he could be like, this is my redemption story. 100%. I'm going to find my wife. I am 40 years old, it's time for me to sow my wild oats in one person.
I don't know if that's how the phrase goes, but I get what you mean. I 100% agree.
Whatever you call it.
I think
Find
Sandoval,
a wife.
I think Sandoval could, at least in terms of like classic reality television, believably convey the redemption story and everything that goes with it.
Yes.
So that's kind of our choices. That's where we think you have to be willing to go. And that money piece of this is It's not just that you would have to pay this person. Use that money piece of this as a part of the narrative for the relaunch of the franchise. We are putting more effort, more resource into launching this season 30. We've got this great bachelor. We paid him $1 million the first time we've ever done that because we realize the importance of the lead in this franchise. The franchise is only as good. I wouldn't say only as good as the leads, but it's only as good as the players for sure. And if you have a better lead, the players will play better.
That's the thing. If you have a lead that people like, go back to the premise of the show. This is the most eligible man in America, and people are going to fight each other to be with this person. And that makes the most entertaining seasons. Like we're watching with Hannah Brown, like these people all want to be with Hannah Brown and truly believe they are meant to be the husband, especially Luke P. I do have some other pitches if you are going to stunt cast, and I think I've mentioned a couple of them, but I know they don't want to stunt cast because they want it to seem for TRR. They want it to be some boring Joe Schmo who's never seen a computer. Hear me out. The Bachelor is in a bad spot. We need a savior. Here are some possible saviors. Craig Conover from Southern Charm. Winter House. He was in a very public breakup with America's sweetheart, Paige DeSorbo. Technically, I think he's dating someone, but whatever. It's not a marriage. Jesse Solomon from Summer House. Might have gotten a little villainized towards the end of this season, but I think that is someone that people would claw each other to pieces for. The guy from Saltburn, Jacob Elordi. Could you get him? Think about the competition you would get.
I think like that guy's on his path to becoming a giant A-list actor. I think his price tag's probably like $10 million. I don't know if they do that. Okay,
then I'm going to skip a couple of the other ones.
Glenn
Powell, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah.
Cory Booker. Interesting. A politician.
Hey, Cory, can you take 2 months off your time in Washington, D.C. to come shoot this reality show?
You just shoot it during whatever they're always taking time off. Are you kidding me? Those people are never working.
I hear it.
Diego Luna from Andor.
Okay.
Dev Patel.
Interesting.
Charles Melton from May December Riverdale. Dave Franco. I just think Franco's there married. Are some. Oh, he is. Okay.
To Allison Brie, mind. I think.
Never mind on that one. Okay. These are some interesting choices.
Yeah.
There's no bad pitches, but I'm just saying, like, think outside the box. Think about who the players would compete the most for.
Yeah.
Make it someone that everyone wants to marry, or at least be in a Instagram relationship with.
Harry Jowsey.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that is essentially where we're at. I do think that the lead of season 30 is crucially important. I think personally it should be somebody from Bachelor franchise, or at least one of these other big reality guys. And if you got to lay out the money, you got to lay out the money. I think if you don't do a season of Bachelor next January, I don't know how the franchise recovers, because you will then have a break in content with no Bachelor and no Bachelorette, no Bachelorette and then no Bachelor. That's a completely broken pipeline. Are you going to do a Bachelor in Paradise that season? Are you going to do a Bachelorette without a Bachelor? It just makes no sense. And I don't think you can have it.
You don't have that long with an ABC show you watch. You're cord cutting.
Exactly.
If you got cords left.
Exactly. You're moving on to some other franchise. Every time there's a break in the pipeline, it allows lifetime Bachelor viewers to start testing out Love Island or Love is Blind or whatever. And then it's like, well, if I have to make a choice, which you're going to have to make this summer, by the way, we won't make the choice because we're doing both. But most regular human beings will have to make a choice between the back half of Love Island season 7 and the front half of BIP season 10, because they're going to air simultaneously. Okay, let's move on to all these tids that are fit to print. This is
Bachelor Nation News.
First up in Bachelor Nation News, we have some new information about the Bachelor franchise through an interview with The Wrap, in which Disney TV executive Craig Erwich said the network is honing its casting arm to find new leads that, quote, meet the bar of excellence.
Erwich said, the Bachelor universe continues to be really important to us. The Bachelor installments are no different than any other show. You have to have the right cast and the right people in front of the camera who have an amazing story to tell, but also who are willing to share their story and are willing to reveal themselves. We're only going to roll these out as they come together and meet the bar of excellence that the tradition of the show has set.
Disney-owned ABC has not yet renewed The Bachelor for its 30th season, and it did not produce an episode of The Bachelorette for the first time since it began airing annually in 2004. But we will get season 10 of The Bachelor in Paradise in July, and Mel Owens will star as the Golden Bachelor in season 2 coming out this fall. So is this dude Erwich shitting on the leads by saying they're looking for leads who, in quotes, meet this bar of excellence? Is he essentially implying like Grant Ellis and Jen Tran didn't meet the bar of excellence?
Yes.
That's horrible.
It's giving Dark Lord Harrison saying, we will have a black lead, but we're just waiting for the right one. It's like, no, there's plenty of people who are capable of doing this job.
Exactly.
Cast them. Just pay them.
And it's just such an antiquated way.
Oh, we just want someone who will do it for free, who's also excellent.
Yeah. And I think also to look at this and place the blame on the leads or the cast is like, but you chose them. Your producers picked those people. So at the very least, even if you want to go with this idea that the leads and the players are bad, which I don't agree with, even if that's what you're saying, the real blame lies in the producers who chose them, not in the people themselves.
Also, I do not think it's about the lead necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, I do think the lead can help you cast players, but let's say Jen Tran had the Men of Hannah Brown season.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been a much better season. She would have been choosing from the cream of the crop and not the Facebook group of who are these horrible men.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And the misunderstanding of this executive to place no blame at the feet of the producers who, by the way, they just fired both of them months ago. We're talking about Graebner and Freeland. Mm-hmm. Like the mechanism even understands they are the fly in the ointment and must be excised. But here publicly giving this interview, this guy has to be like, well, it's the leads and the casting and the cast has to be good enough. And It's like, no, motherfucker, do your job. Also, I want to bring up this question. How bad is it going to be, do you think, for the franchise if they're, in quotes, only going to roll these out as they come together and meet the bar of excellence that the tradition of the show has set? So that, to me, implies at least ABC is thinking about just every once in a while, we'll do a Bachelor every other year or something. I think that's death.
They've now set this model with Golden Bachelor where they do Golden Bachelor one year, Golden Bachelorette the next. I am sincerely hoping they do not follow this for Bachelor, Bachelorette, because guess what? You can cast a good lead and players for both seasons every year. It is possible.
Totally.
Just do better in the casting.
But it's not even about the casting.
Also, it makes you you're going to have too much space in between seasons. Like, you're going to start watching Love Island and forget about ABC.
Of course. And just not give a fuck. It's also like not just the casting. It's like, yes, you can get good players. It's how you're producing the show. The people at the top of that producerial pyramid have to understand that you work with the players, not against them. It's not adversarial. You're not trying to trick them and manipulate them. You're trying to augment whatever feelings they have for these players, to augment the second audience game if there's rivalries, whatever. Yeah. It's like this interview to me, it wasn't extensive, but like the things that are in print to me reveal a drastic misunderstanding of the fundamental reality of what this show even is at the highest level. This is one of the dudes who makes a decision on if the show gets ordered or not. And he just doesn't get what it is.
No, 100%. The drama is inherent in the format. It is one person whittling down their romantic choices every week. That is inherent drama. There is inherently going to be jealousy. Like, you don't need to be doing all of these messed up things to the people and what they did to Jen Tran, etc. Like, it's one of the things that has been super eye-opening for me in rewatching this Hannah Brown season is the editing. You can just tell they are putting so much care into each shot. They're getting like the reaction shots. They're living in these like tense moments to build up the emotion that you're feeling when you're watching it. And they just don't have you. It's just so like sloppily made now and put together.
Yeah. It's a low effort kind of thing. It's like rush it out. It's either low effort or low understanding. I can't tell which. Mm-hmm. At any rate, let's move on.
Classic Bachelor question.
Yeah.
Is it incompetence or
laziness? Up next, in Bachelor Nation news, we might not know the future of The Bachelor, but we do now know we are getting another show in the extended Bachelor universe this week. HGTV announced a new series with the working title, Renovating the Bachelor Mansion.
Huh? The new unscripted show will see former Bachelor and Bachelorette contestants with skills in interior design and home renovation returning to compete in design challenges on the Villa de la Vina property in hopes of winning a cash prize. The new series is set for 2026 on HGTV and HBO Max.
Villa de la Vina, for those who don't know, is the Bachelor Mansion. It's been the location of virtually every season of Bachelor and Bachelorette, at least the first 3 weeks since Brad Womack's Bachelor season 11. Mixed feelings about this one too. What does this mean?
It is so confusing along with this news that they're like, we'll do a Bachelor season whenever we find someone good.
Exactly. Like, when are they shooting this?
Why are you redoing the mansion then?
And when are you redoing the mansion? You better not be doing it October through November. You better not be doing it April, May, when they should be shooting Bachelorette or Golden, or, if you have a whole show that you're going to shoot in there with them tearing the fucking mansion apart and redoing it, that means that time period cannot be used to shoot Bachelor, Bachelorette, Golden Bachelor. It
is so confusing to do this without a Bachelor or Bachelorette season that is scheduled, because you would think you would do this as a lead up to a new season, being like, oh, Bachelor 30, we're redoing the mansion. We're going to get a big character to be the lead. Get ready for a new era.
100%.
No, it's get ready for no era. I mean, who are they even going to have on the show?
Tyler Cameron will be there. He's into this kind of shit. Joe. Who knows?
Well,
that's
up next
just the
in
news.
Bachelor Nation news, congratulations are in order for the yellow-eyed Zeezer. This is cruel. Joey Graziadei joined the 1 million club this week.
You didn't like yellow-eyed Zeezer? That to me was funny as hell.
Isn't it like a medical thing?
What?
The yellow eyes?
Yeah, jaundice, I think he said.
We don't think that hitting the 1 million mark was on his bucket list of 30 things he wanted to do before 30, but he did it nonetheless. And in this era of our beloved game, it's becoming harder and harder to achieve as players from franchises like Love Island seem to be dominating the parasocial game, with players like Leah Kateb hitting the 4 million mark. The most recent player to join the 1 million club from the Bachelor franchise was Gabby Windy, who rendered co-crown duties back in Bachelorette season 19. Congrats, Graziadei, on this incredible milestone.
I am happy for him. It's like,
me too.
It shows you the nation still got some juice.
And what can happen when you cast a good lead like Joey Graziadei?
Who
like that season was a beautiful moment.
And then he does Dancing with the Stars, and him and Kelsey Anderson are making all these posts all the time. They're just like very good parasocially. And he has only gained more after his time in Bachelor.
The 30 before turning 30 thing, I think, is part of what prompted this.
Totally.
People wanted to see, is he going to check all those boxes before he turns 30?
I saw so many podcasts talking about how like they were ashamed that they know when Joey Graziadei's birthday is because they're following this 30 before 30 bucket list type thing. I thought it was funny, but good on him.
I completely identify. I felt stressed being like, okay, well, how is he going to do this half marathon?
Yeah.
There's not very many.
Yeah. Say lobby. Congratulations don't stop, however, with Graziadei. Because up next in Bachelor Nation news, one of the best face players in recent history, Hakeem Moulton, has used his powers of facial manipulation to successfully transition to screen time in another giant reality franchise.
In a recent episode of the second season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Housewives, Bachelor Nation's wide-eyed arachnophobe was featured in the background of a scene, talking to influencer Aspen Ovard as a fight broke out. As cast member Macy Neely attempted to de-escalate things, Moulton's signature eye play lit up the background as he watched the interaction in shock. I also was shocked at this. I was like, is that Hakeem?
Hell yeah, it is.
He stands out. It's definitely a mostly white show.
Yeah. It's Mormons, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of white people. And this party was like a very pivotal moment in the season. There were several altercations. Wow. I'm very proud of him.
Me too. Moulton used his faceplay reactions to an ad for The Secret Lives of Mormon Housewives during Jen Tran's historic Bachelorette season 21 to forever cement himself to the then fledgling franchise. Hakeem has since struck up a friendship with the stars of The Secret Lives of Mormon Housewives, Mormon Wives, including Demi Engman and husband Brett Engman. In April, Hakeem celebrated Easter with the couple and shared several snaps of the trio attending church together. Congrats to Hakeem Moulton on showing other players just how important good faceplay can be and how you can use it to further your career as a reality player. Unbelievable.
I mean, I love this for him. I'm so proud.
Me too.
Finally, in Bachelor Nation news, congratulations are in order for Bachelorette Season 19, 7th place finisher and BIP Seasons 8 and 9 survivor, Tyler Norris. He proposed to his not quite civilian girlfriend, Alyssa Sheridan, this week. While Sheridan never set foot in our beloved game, she did make an appearance on Season 9 of The Voice. Norris and Sheridan posted pics of their engagement this week on Instagram. And you can bet your sweet ass Norris did the nation proud by proposing with a sparkler on bended knee.
In a video.
I like the squeaking laugh.
Every once in a while, I never know how it's gonna lay out, like who's gonna read what.
Yeah,
because we just alternate paragraphs, and like whenever I write something in there that I'm like, God, I hope Lizzie has to read this, and then you do, I find it hilarious.
You can always be like, you do this one, I'll do it.
But I don't know because it's it's so I'm not keeping track of it in my head. I just try to pepper in enough things that I know eventually you're going to have to read something funny. In a video posted to his Instagram, Norris gushes, quote, "I love you so much, and I can't explain to you how much I love you. I said a prayer years ago, and I said, God, please put somebody in my life that's going to be with me forever. If I had known then that person was going to be across the country, I would have left way earlier. I spent 26 years of my life without you in it, and I don't think I could go another day without you in it. So, Liz, I want to ask you, will you marry me?"
Bachelor Nation All-Stars didn't miss the opportunity to make their presence known in the comments. Tanner, I'll see you in Cortad?
I'll see you in Cortad.
Oh, I'll see you in Cortad. These are my nicknames.
These people have some nicknames, you see.
Wrote an elegant, let's go. Congrats, guys. And protected player Michael, we could have had it. Alio added, what? Congrats. 4 red heart emojis.
Rodney, the underdog Matthews, chimed in, yo, congratulations. Big ups emoji, champagne bottle emoji, party popper emoji. What is that thing? Horn?
Yeah, party horn emoji. Okay. And the Dark Lord himself, Jesse Smeagol Palmer, committed these words to the official record. Congrats, you two.
We couldn't have said it better ourselves. I dubbed him Smeagol because of his impression? Lord of the Rings impersonation back in season 5 of The Bachelor. That. How could you forget?
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah.
Now for... our number 5 play this week goes to... Jen Tran, the last Bachelorette of all time, made an incredible TikTok responding to a comment saying she and Grant had killed the franchise. She jokes that she was such a good Bachelorette that they stopped the franchise. Thank you. 17.6K likes, 242.5K views.
It's like, what does that do? What does that ABC dude expect at the end of Jen Trend's season when Jesse Palmer's like, do you want to watch it back? And she goes, do I have a choice? What should she have done if she was a good lead? Kick him in the balls and say, fuck you, we're not watching that?
Yeah, shit pants.
Should have done some shit pants experimental play.
Roll around on the floor.
Yeah. It's just like the idea that, well, it's hard to find good leads. It's like, no, it's fucking not. How many people are in America? It enrages me.
How many people are in America and are hot? So many.
Yeah.
There's so many hot people. There's so many young people.
Yeah, we can't find good leads. Strangely, though, Love Island is able to cast people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 7 of them have over 1 million Instagram followers. Multiple of them have over 2. We just don't know. That's different. Blah, 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 blah. Coming in at number 4 of our top 5 Parasocial plays of the week, it's That Goldini. Sean Lowe and his wife, Catherine Giudice Lowe. This week, the Christian prank-loving couple continued their couch confession series and shared a parenting moment involving their son Samuel in a piece of school artwork. Via Instagram Reels, Sean praised Samuel's artistic talent, noting his work had even been displayed in City Hall. However, the praise took a turn when Sean received an email from Samuel's art teacher about a recent drawing. After finishing a bubble letters assignment, Samuel drew what appeared to be a naked man with a big butt farting, prompting an apologetic and slightly mortified email from the teacher. Sean admitted that while it was inappropriate, he also couldn't stop laughing. He joked that his main takeaway was, quote, 1, don't have kids. Catherine tried to downplay the drawing, but Sean couldn't help pointing out the fart kind of looks like a penis. Fans begged to see the drawing, and Sean delivered, posting it on his Instagram stories with a disclaimer not to tell Samuel they laughed. 10.8K likes, 553K views.
To me, it looks more like a penis sharding.
Let me look at this.
Because the fart is kind of brown. Our number 3 top play of the week goes to Jojo Fletcher, the 2 million Instagram princess, and her paramour Jordan Rogers shared a montage for their 9-year anniversary after getting engaged on season 12 of The Bachelorette. Wow. The couple, who married in 2022, marked the occasion with a heartfelt video via JoJo's Instagram. The Chiron reads, "Life with you," and then a bunch of greater than signs. And this reel includes sweet clips from their relationship over the years, including several silly dances and tots. JoJo captioned it, 9 years together, 3 years married, forever to go. Bashful emoji, red heart emoji. Thankful for all the moments I get to share with you in this life. The big ones, small ones, happy ones, and especially in the hard ones. Thank you for loving me the way you do. Happy anniversary, cutie boy. Jordan reposted it to his own stories, writing, 9 years together, 3 years married, forever to go. Heavy hitters, including her dynamic duo partner Becca Tilley, the Dollman Adam Gottschalk, Gorgel, Jason Tardik, Jared Iaconetti, and Lauren Bushnell Lane, flooded the comments with love and well wishes. 88K likes, 2 million views.
Wow.
For me, there was a glaring missing clip, which is when they went on that chat roulette style Instagram live and saw that guy's dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, the good days.
One of my favorites up there.
Coming in second place this week of the top 5 Parasocial plays of the week, we got Chelsea Vaughn, the season 25 and Bachelor in Paradise season 7 star. And most importantly, Gorgirl gave us an incredible offering this week via TikTok. She announced her move to Mexico City as a tongue-in-cheek reality show with a British male voice-over narrating her decision, hinting at changes in her dating life, and even taking hilarious shots at the U.S. government. 3.5K likes, 47.7K views. Congrats to Chelsea on the big move.
I'm excited for this new chapter. Yeah. All of these were strong plays, but there can only be one winner. Our Parasocial play of the week goes to the one true GOAT, Caitlin Bristow. Under the Chiron, you're really funny. Thanks, Chris Harrison had to read bean tweets I received on national television while I was emotionally unstable. KB makes faceplay over this absolutely wild clip from a hot seat from her Bachelorette season that ABC somehow decided to air, in which Dark Lord Harrison repeatedly reads tweets calling KB a whore. This, you have to watch this. The caption reads, and to be clear, Chris was also the one to comfort me through a lot of hard times, and I'm glad they aired this. I think it was important at the time for us to break that wall and remind people that bullying isn't acceptable and we are humans on the other side. Red heart emoji. Rewatching my season 10 years later has been a wild ride. I've rewatched the specific part many times. Sometimes I hysterically laugh and sometimes I cry. I want to hug that KB so badly, but I'm constantly growing into the person my younger self would have needed, and I like that. Wish I could share more. 3 red hearts emoji, 28K likes, 1.6 million views.
Wow.
The quotes in this are... Let me just say ahead of time, I apologize to everyone in the room for the language I'm about to use. You're the worst bachelorette ever in history. You're a little whore. So shut your little whore mouth. Hashtag slut. That's just the first one.
Damn. Well, congratulations to Caitlin Bristow on making something funny out of something that was probably traumatic, at least at the time. We must
and it's a good ad for her series of rewatching her season.
We must also mention a creature this week. Gore Girl, Tammy Lee's dog, Leo, suffered a brutal laceration on his nose. Tammy posted a series of images to her Instagram of the event that culminated in a video she posted to her Instagram story showing us that Leo's feeling better, all fine after a few stitches, and he's now walking around with a giant inflatable donut around his neck that's like used as a cone so that he can't scratch at the stitches, basically. It's so goddamn cute. Please check that out. I think it's still up on her story, actually. Or maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But there are some main grid posts of Leo and the lacerations and the donut. Congrats.
I hate lacerations.
To Leo, don't we all? And now let's move on to that final portion of our program where PaceCase and I descend deep into the murky waters of the very bottom of this pit we've been digging for 6 years now, and issue forth our screams about how our fandom of The Bachelor and reality TV at large has forever changed the fundamental fabric of who we are as entities. This is
Screams from the Pit!
I alluded to my scream earlier when I was talking about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and how I saw Hakeem Moulton appear in the background of one of the pivotal episodes from this season. When I watched this, was like, I started watching it because I was like, this is replacing Bachelorette in the time slot. I feel like it's kind of like in the same vein.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, do I have to do a palapa about this show? I feel like I kind of do. And that's my scream. I'm like, oh, I gotta start over. I haven't finished the season.
Yeah.
It feels important. And it's just all my pleasure viewing changing into business.
I understand. I have very little pleasure viewing at this time. My scream involves an event that occurred this weekend. You had a little get together of friends that was out at a place in Los Angeles by, what is that place? Silver Lake Reservoir?
Silver Lake Meadow.
Silver Lake Meadow. It's kind of a grassy.
The field next to the lake.
Yeah, just a little area. And we're all out there and we're laughing and lounging.
Yeah.
And a woman with a dog walks up to us. Do you remember this?
Yes.
The dog's, Luca made eyes at the dog. She came up with her dog and said, "Oh, can the dogs talk to each other?"
Milo, I want to say that was the dog name.
I don't remember her dog's name. But I looked up and this was no ordinary woman. This was, I think her name's Ella Purnell. Let me Google this real quick. Ella Purnell. She is an actress. She is the star of Fallout on Amazon. And she was also in Yellow Jacket. She's been in a bunch of stuff. But I recognized her. I was like, holy shit, that's the actress from Fallout. I can't believe this. That thought was the first thing through my head. The second thought immediately after it that obliterated the first thought was, I wish it would have been a Bachelor player. Just like now for me, random celebrity sightings in LA are fucking meaningless unless they're from Bachelor.
God.
Just did not give a shit. And I love both those shows.
I didn't even recognize her. And my friend was like, who's this about the dog? And I was like, oh, I guess he brought a friend to the birthday party. Totally missed this whole thing.
I recognized her immediately. I was like, oh my
Luca
God.
recognizes star power though. He brings
exactly.
it in.
He drew her in. But yeah, I was immediately like, she was like the main character in 2 of my favorite shows. Or I guess Yellow Jackets is debatable. She's the main character of the first season, then something happens.
I mean, she's like the best character in Yellow Jackets, I think. And then she's great in Fallout.
Yeah, fantastic.
Shout out to her, Ella.
Yeah. And I didn't even know she was British until I heard her talking there. But again, don't care. Not a Bachelor player. Next.
Yeah, she'd be a good Bachelorette though if she's single.
Sure. Be interesting. All right. We're not the only ones screaming here. As you know, if you are on our Patreon, you can get on our Discord. In that Discord, there's a channel called Submit Your Scream. You can upload your own 1 minute or shorter audio or video clip. We play the best ones here. Are you ready, PaceCase?
Let's go.
Here we go. Here's our scream this week.
Hi, PaceCase, Clues, and fellow pit dwellers. It's British pit dweller here, coming to you from the great city of Philadelphia with a fish-based scream.
Wow.
During Gen Tran's season of Bachelorette, my unlikely favorite player was self-proclaimed love virgin Sam N, or as I affectionately called him, Salmon. And anyway, as someone who hopes to bring children into our dying world one day, I changed my diet around the time of Jen's season and started to include a lot of fish to support my fertility. And essentially my scream is that for the last 10 months, whenever I prepare my twice weekly salmon fillet, an image of little love virgin Salmon wearing his Jen's future husband football shirt floats into my mind like a sort of reassuring fertility talisman. I'm grateful for that every day. Praise be DLP, and praise be to, of course, Jen's future husband and my fertility goddess, Salmon.
I mean, pretty deep scream. We have to say, you know, anytime you are having psychological triggers when you're doing like a daily activity, and the thing that happens as a result of doing that activity is a mental image or sound of a Bachelor player or Bachelor event, you know that it is pretty entrenched in your life. This isn't causing you, though, to do any outside activities. It's not causing you to put your job in jeopardy or anything like that. So it's not a deep level scream, but you're about midway down the pit, I would say, with something like this.
Yeah. First of all, Sam and Salmon, love that. Also, did we manifest a British scream after discussing British accents? That was strange.
I don't know.
I think whoever your fertility goddess is, it should be a Bachelor player. And I think that's really smart, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like mine would be Glitter Baby's mom, Crystal Nielsen.
For sure, yeah. Her or Lauren Lyondike is a good fertility goddess.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Prolific.
Yeah. She gets it done. I wouldn't put Catherine Giudice. Don't they have 3 kids?
They got 3, yeah.
And what's the Lyondikes are about to have 4? They got a Lessie, they got the twins, and they got another one on the way.
Oh my God, what if there's more twins?
Oh, Jesus. 2 sets of twins. What if this one's triplets? Every time they have babies, it expands. The next one's 4, the next one's 5.
Oh my God. I hope so.
Me too.
No,
my fertility goddess would be none. I don't want to have children.
Yeah. But what about like for Scobby's children?
Scobby can't have no kids.
Fine.
And believe me, he tries with that blanket on our couch every goddamn night.
Oh,
he puts on a little show just for me. Nobody else awake. It's just me up doing my work and watching him watch me as he does his. Thank you for joining us today. That wraps up this week in Bachelor Nation. We will be back on Thursday with our recap of the finale of season 48 of Survivor. We hope you'll join us for that. Yes. I can't wait to see what Dark Lord Jeff does. And then we will be all throughout the week hitting our Casa Gore with new episodes of Hannah Brown's season 15 of The Bachelorette until we get that whole thing knocked out before June 3rd starts up Love Island USA season 7. We're going to be covering every night of it as it airs in Casa Gore, as well as a weekly recap on Wednesdays.
Patreon.com/Game of Roses. Praise be Dark Lord Palmer.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.